In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a site abandonment flow on Klaviyo. Now, after auditing hundreds of D2C brands, most brands don't even have this flow in the first place. So I'm going to run through a couple of things. Common mistakes that people make with the site abandonment flow, what you need to set it up, the exact email structure that we use for our 7 and 8 figure brand partners, the split test you can use, and how to build it out on Klaviyo. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so the site abandonment flow is really for someone who hasn't done pretty much anything. Basically, they haven't added to cart, they haven't checked out a certain product, they haven't initiated checkout, maybe they've hit a collection page, or maybe they've hit the home page. Now, what we want to do here is get them back and see if they're even interested at all in what you have to offer. So this is really important. Now, just a reminder here, the site abandonment flow requires someone to actually have been subscribed to your list already. If they're not, this doesn't work. Now, the purpose of the site abandonment flow is 3 things. 1 is to recover lost traffic and just remind people about your brand value. 2 is to convert top of funnel visitors into engaged shoppers through targeted incentives. And number 3 is gathering zero-party data. This is going to be directly in the email. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in a moment, but this is going to be where you're gathering a little bit more information about people's preferences, and you're trying to just refine things down further for future emails. So what do you actually need to start? Well, the first thing is just to make sure your on-site tracking is on. If you are on Shopify, make sure that's on. Go to your Shopify integrations tab and make sure that the metrics tab and active on-site is actively tracking. Now, the easiest way to do this is just go into the integrations tab, click on Shopify, and scroll down to the on-site tracking here. So you want to make sure that this setting is on, so new behavioral tracking features, and also this add viewed product tracking to my site. Okay, so before diving into Klaviyo and building this out for you, the first thing I want to run through is just the triggers and flow filters, and then also some conditional splits that you can use. So the trigger is just when someone has visited the site, i.e. like the homepage or a non-product page, but they have taken 0 action. The flow filters we want to add on here are going to be viewed product 0 times since starting this flow, added to cart 0 times, started to checkout 0 times, placed order 0 times, and bounced email 0 times since starting this flow. You also want to make sure they haven't been in this flow before. It's pretty, I would say, like low intent flow. So we don't really want to hit people up a ton. We don't want them in this flow consistently either. Now, some of the conditional splits you might want to use could be based off of the page type. So it could be like, hey, maybe they hit a home page, or maybe they hit a category page. It could be based off of customer type. So it could be based off of new customers or returning customers, or it could be based off of zero-party data that you may have collected within the pop-up as well. So let's dive in and I'll show you exactly how to build this out in Klaviyo. Okay, so in order to create the site abandonment flow on Klaviyo, there's a few things that you can do. If you only want to target people who have hit the collection page and no other pages, you can do that by using the abandoned collection flow. Now, if you don't want to do that and you want to include anyone who has visited any other page on your site, then what you want to do is build your own. And what you're going to want to do is create manually. It's going to then just populate this. You're going to want to go to all triggers, go to metric, and then the metric you're going to want to use is active on site. So you're going to select that, and then you're going to want to add in your profile filters. So I'm going to add in the profile filter here, what someone has or has not done. And then we're going to go ahead and add in all of those filters that I had mentioned. I'm just going to pause this, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like once it's completed. Okay, so once you've completed it, it should look something like this. So they haven't viewed product, added to cart, placed order, checkout started, bounced email, and they have not been in this flow in the last 30 days. You could go ahead and click save, click confirm, and then what you're going to want to do is set up the rest of the flow. So the content in these emails is going to be a little bit different. So let me share that right now. Okay, so the first email that we're going to have in the site abandonment flow is going to be a friendly reminder and just like popular products. Really, these people, depending on if they've purchased before or not, they're probably not super high intent if they haven't hit a product page, or they haven't added to cart or anything like that. So what we want to do is just re-engage them and showcase some best sellers and see if they're actually interested. Usually a layout that we might use here is just like logo, header, subheader, and then a section header with some customer favorites, and then a product spotlight. Now you can use a dynamic collection here. This works really well if you have like products that are constantly rotating, or if you just have like the same products, you can also use that here too. In email 2, we're going to have social proof and a limited time offer. Basically, the purpose here is just to build a little trust with some testimonials and then hopefully incentivize some action. Now, we'll delay this a little bit more than usual, largely because, again, the intent level is relatively low. And if someone maybe doesn't engage with this and they still haven't had some sort of action, like they haven't added to cart or viewed a certain product, they're quite low intent, but we want to give them at least an opportunity to click and see this email. So we might wait a couple of days and then send this email. So build trust testimonials. So we'll have a logo, header, subheader, CTA, and then like section header here with some reviews, maybe some UGC, and then we'll have another CTA. Now, the third and final email for site abandonment is going to be basically creating FOMO. Right? We want to create some urgency. We want to give people some recommendations based off of maybe the limited interactions that they've had. If you did collect some zero-party data in the pop-up, great, leverage that here. If they're hitting a certain page, like maybe they're hitting a certain collection page, maybe you want to tailor content specifically for them, or if they've searched for something. And then finally, the layout example here would be like a logo, header, subheader, CTA. We'd have a section header with top picks for you, and then dynamic product recommendations based off of like categories that they've viewed. You could also leverage what kind of top sellers are as well. Again, you can create a dynamic product feed based off of that if you want to. Now, some of the tests that we're going to run here, number one is going to be like an incentive test. Like let's test discounts versus free shipping versus maybe a free gift with purchase. Again, we're going to test that in email 2 and email 3. Email cadence. So this is where you might want to test this out a little bit more, depending on the value of your product, right? If you have a high AOV, you might want to wait a little bit longer than this. If you have a lower AOV, you might want to do this a little bit faster because it doesn't take a ton of decision-making skills to buy something that's like $50. 3 would be content format. So A/B testing, very image heavy versus textile layouts for engagement, see which one works better. 4 would be segmentation. And this would be segmenting based off of like maybe homepage abandoners, category page abandoners. If you have other weird pages, you can do that too, but those should be like maybe the 2 that you could do there. Also, again, reiterating this, if you collect zero-party data in your pop-up, you can use that here. If you don't know how to do that, by the way, and you want to check out a video on how to do that, there is a video that you can check out specifically on that. Number 5 here would be urgency tactics. So this again would be like maybe experimenting with countdown timers, stock level indicators, that type of thing, creating a little bit more urgency here. So that is how you build the site abandonment flow. Again, this is a flow that so many brands just completely miss out on. It's not crazy high leverage, but it can still bring in some revenue. And again, you want to hit those people based off of where they're at in their customer journey. So hopefully this video helped. If you do have any questions at all, please let me know.